So what drove you to write a book called What I Never Told You?
Well, my dad passed away in 2004. He was 80. It was sudden. So he never talked about his time, his World War II history. He never mentioned it, but I always could kick myself because I wasn't more interested. I waited until after he was gone and we're going through his things, and he had a POW notebook that he drew pictures and wrote. There were poems in it, sketches, the names of his roommates he drew like in dog tags, and it really inspired me to want to learn about my dad. But I didn't know any big story, that he saved anybody's life. He was just one of the thousands that sacrificed, that just came back, did what they had to do, came back, went through hell, but just went on with their lives and lived good lives. But anyway, I didn't feel worthy to write. I mean, he was gone. I didn't have him to ask. I didn't feel worthy to write a book that wasn't my story. And it's they're such incredible stories. They're such heroes, but I wanted them remembered. I just wanted to do my best to keep the memory alive. I went to the places from his past, and that's what I did. I would just write and write as I would do things. I went to his air base in England, to Podington, and to the crash site in Belgium. He was shot down in Belgium. And
what time period?
He was shot down February 4th, 1944.
What division was he in? Just a little quick bio.
He was in the 8th Air Force, the 92nd Bomb Group, okay. 407th Squadron.
And was he a gunner, or was he
He was a ball turret gunner.
Okay.
So he was in that bubble.
What happened was he was shot down February
4th, 1944 in Belgium.
In Belgium.
Over Belgium. It was a mission to Frankfurt. He was captured almost immediately. I mean, they saw him and two of the other crew members. They zeroed right in on them, so he didn't have a chance. But two of them, like I said, evaded capture to England. I've met the family members of the people that helped. One, the tail gunner on Dad's plane. So that's how he ended up in Belgium for a little while, and then they took him to Stalag Luft 6.
Which was located?
It was Heydekrug, East Prussia,
okay.
At that time, but now it's Šilutė, Lithuania.
Gotcha.
What I did is I wrote it like I was my dad, thinking that was the only way to make, and honestly, it's as close to him telling it as it could possibly be. I really feel like it was like almost like I became him, or he became me. But anyway, I had him going back with me to the places from his past. And I went through the camp areas, the Lithuania, Poland, and Germany. He was in Stalag Luft 6, 4, and Stalag Luft 1. And I met witnesses that remember the day my father fell from the sky in his parachutes, and landing in a garden near their homes. And I have since, I have the navigator on my dad's plane, he was injured in the plane and he died a few days later in a German hospital. I have the navigator's, it's like a stopwatch type thing, that the fella that was the first one on the aircraft, it's such a long story, but how things come about. I've met the guy he lived on a farm near where the plane came down. And he and his dad, they hurried up before the Germans got there to salvage it, and got what he called souvenirs. He found me through me going back there and them talking about it. And he wanted me to have them. So I could never find the family members of this Donald Kaler, who was the navigator, but I have his watch. By going to these places that were the camp areas and meeting people and historians and whatever, and every place I would go, I would leave everything I had. I made copies of Dad's notebooks. I interpreted pages of my dad's notebook. That things that I know because of what I did, you could look at it and it would mean absolutely nothing, but I know why. Like just June 6th, he had that circled on his calendar. He was a POW, on D-Day. It just, I don't know, there's
How did you get
so
the
much.
idea to write in his voice? I mean, that's pretty nice.
It was the only way that I felt like I could do. I'm not, if I say, well, my father did this or my father did that, I think this makes it more real. And it's like with Lester and Lee's story, they were two of the veterans that I had the honor of talking to. And to have them approve of it when it's done, I mean, that is all I could ask for. It makes me right.
Yeah.
I know that I got it right. I did it. It took me 6 years. I wanted to tell you, Stasis wrote this book. It's in Lithuanian, but it has my dad's crew
Oh my gosh.
in it. So he's remembered in here. And this also is a Lithuanian book that I just got in the last month. I didn't even know they were doing this, but it's just a group of researchers, and they were working on the history of the area, and the POW camp, of course, was a big part of it. So I was shocked. That's my father's crew. This is a German history book, Stalag Luft 1. My father's notebook pages and his picture are in this book also. I just got this maybe a year ago that I didn't even know existed. It's a museum in Berlin. It's in German, but it has Dad's notebook pages and his crew picture in here, and it mentions his name. These are his books, or pages from his notebook.
Would you pick it up again and turn it towards this way?
Mm-hmm.
A little smile, please.
Oh, me too.
You also.
Thank you.
But can you believe that?
Well,
Can
kudos.
it-
You gotta feel very good about this.
You give me the
It-
spooks up my spine. I mean,
But
it's quite a story.
The thing of it is, like I said, I just wanted my crew to be remembered, and
Your crew. Your crew.
my crew.
Yeah.
And I have pieces of my father's plane too that they gave me in Belgium that they found in the crash area. I signed up for tours. That the first year that I went was in 2005. It was a return trip to Barth, Stalag Luft 1, for the anniversary, the 60th anniversary of the liberation of the camp. So that was the beginning. But that opened so many doors because I met Ivan Jensen from Denmark, he is how I found, he had Belgian friends. It's how I found the Belgian researchers. That things just, it's amazing how things fell into place. I was fortunate.
At some point, somebody sends you the book with the book jacket, and there's this, and the front is a pictorial of you walking down, probably onto one of the stalags.
This picture on the front,
Yep.
I went to my first 8th Airforce reunion. I didn't know anybody, and there wasn't anybody there from my dad's bomb group. So I ended up, because I walked so many times by this one room where people were having a good time and with their group. But anyway, I met a lady that I had looked for years before. Dad had a sketch in his notebook that I wasn't sure what it was. That's in there too. And she, in a history book of a friend that I met who was a former POW, he had a sketch in there that she had done. So I tried to find her. Her name was Carolyn Council. I tried to find her because I wanted to know what was it, the boxcar? What was it? I could never find her. I went to this reunion. I finally go into this room and get introduced to the people from, they were a 96th bomb group, not 92nd. I met Carolyn Council, and I think she thought I was nuts when they said, "This is Carolyn Council." I said, "You've got to be kidding me. I've been looking for you for years." And then I explained, why. But then I didn't even have the title. It was the first meeting since Germany, since our meeting with my editor. It was the first time that we'd actually met in person, because we've been doing everything by email. And he would ask questions about things, and so it helped to clarify, to bring it out more. But anyway, I didn't know what the cover was going to be, and I didn't know what the title was going to be either. But Carolyn, I thought, in the middle of the night, she was leaving the next day, and in the middle of the night, I had this idea, because she did that sketch in the POW book. That's where I saw it. It would be so good if she could do a sketch from one of the pictures that I had of the area. She said, "Yeah, go ahead, send me a picture, I'd be happy to do it." So how appropriate was that to have her sketch
so she did that.
this. She did this, and there is a picture in here of the actual path. But my mother was actually in the picture with me. And I never said not to have my mother in it. When I got this in the mail, back when Carolyn had completed it, it was just me on the path. And I felt at first kind of bad, but then that was the way that it should have been.
It's the story. The story is the daughter in quest of
Right,
story.
because my mother didn't go, she didn't go to Lithuania. So, but how did Carolyn know that?
Yeah.
It's been the most rewarding thing I think I could have ever done. And I feel like my father wouldn't be mad at me for bragging about him. I'm doing something he never could do, and it's an important thing, and it's thanks to guys like him and Bish and all of them that we owe him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It's my way of giving back, and I don't regret 1 second of it.